Imagine trying to explain the debut of the Netflix MVP MMA card, Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. Let's get straight into it. First up, we have Chris Avila, who is 33-year-old guy from Stockton, and you know the word Stockton means Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz, and that's their boy. Unfortunately, though, this guy is 8-9, and all of his 9 losses are by decision. But he does have 7 finishes, so he is kind of a fun fighter. The only reason, though, he is on this card is because of that relation with the Diaz brothers, and he is 0-2 in the UFC as well. Hasn't fought MMA since 2001, so who does he get? And he's got to go against Brendan Jenkins, who is nicknamed the Human Highlight Reel, but he's 16-11, but he has 14 finishes. He was 0-2 in the UFC, and in his last 5 fights, he is 1-4, so kind of low MMA, but oh well. Next up, we have Jade Mason Wong, aka Evil Smile. She is 3-2 in her record, and she's a 33-year-old Canadian, bare knuckle fighting kind of fighter, and she does a lot of adult content. So who does she get? And she has to fight Eileen, who is 2-2. What? Is it because she's 5 inches higher, or maybe 7-inch reach? Why is she fighting? Okay, on Kalshi, she's a 76%, and her last name is Pereira. Pereira, where have we heard this? Where? Yeah, that's Alex Pereira's sister. This woman throws fucking bombs, bro. She fights like Poatan. In MMA, yeah, she's 2-2, but outside of it, dude, she is just like him in kickboxing. She is so fucking good. And I mean, if you're training with that, raps. Next up, we have Albert Morales, nicknamed the Belizean Warrior. 19-10 record, but he has 15 finishes. In his last 8, though, he is 7-1. He was in the UFC, but it was 1-4, so not very good. Boxer that likes to scrap, 34-year-old American. But he has to go against David Mongoya, who is 8-1, 5 KOs. His one loss was to Tommy McMillan, and it was a very close fight in that Dana White's Contender Series scrap. 21-year-old Armenian, I mean, good prospect, probably should be in the UFC. Good striker, but a great wrestler. Next up, we have Jeff Creighton, nicknamed Jazzy. 12-2 record, 30-year-old American. Grounds kind of guy, likes to be on the ground, and on top of that was on the Ultimate Fighter season 33. But he has to go against Jason Jackson, aka the ass-kicking machine. This 35-year-old Jamaican is 19-6. He's a former Bellator champ, he's an MMA vet, and on top of that, he is the only person to have beaten Yaroslav Amosov, the guy who just fought in the UFC, 30-1 record. Yeah, he's the one that beat him. Next up, we have Adriano Moraes, a.k.a. Makino. 21-6 record. He has 4 KOs, 11 subs. He's a 37-year-old Brazilian who has fought in one champion and has a trilogy with Demetrius Johnson. He also trains with Pantoja, and he was supposed to fight Mohamed Mokaev, but in comes in a newcomer. On short notice, Pumi Nakuta. 11-0. His nickname is the Turbo, has belts in many organizations. He's a grappler, he's 30 years old, still young in the MMA world, still developing as a prospect, but I'm telling you, this will be a scrap. Speaking of scraps, next up, Jake Babian, nicknamed the Barbarian. 6-1, 4 KOs, 1 sub. I don't even know his age. I couldn't fucking find it, but he's a decent grappler. So who does he get? Namio Fazil, aka grandson of Saldian. What a fucking name. 9-1, 7 finishes. This is a heavy fucking puncher. Extremely aggressive, dope tattoos, shit talker, born in Finland, 29-year-old. Wow, he will scrap. Next up, we have Junior Dos Santos, the former UFC champ. 21-10 record. He is 42 years old. He had some bangers and big fights in the UFC, but now much older, so who does he get? Dude, Robelis de Spain. Olympic medalist karate guy, 5-2, nicknamed the Big Boy. Dude, he puts out people in the first round. Listen to these timings of KOs in MMA and karate. Ready? 12 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 18 seconds, 4 seconds, 12 seconds, 8 seconds, 20 seconds, all in the round 1. That's it. One punch, gone. But this 37-year-old Cuban cannot grapple. He cannot grapple. So if it goes to the ground, it's wraps. But if it's on the feet, it's his win, without a doubt. Next up, we have Kenneth Cross, nicknamed The Boss. 17-4, fast striker that likes to brawl. All of his losses are by sub, though, and he walks with his hands down, dude. He won a Dana White's Contender Series, but he didn't get a fight. But either way, This man is, he's nasty. But he has to go against somebody that is absolutely ridiculous. Meet Saladin Parnasse. This guy is a 28-year-old Frenchman who is 22-2. 7 KOs, 7 subs, 8 decisions. Amazing everywhere. KSW champion and defended his belt many times. Only loss as of recently was when he had to go up a weight class and fight for that belt. He has many wins over UFC fighters, so at some point he should have already been with the UFC. Maybe it'll still happen. We'll find out. Coming up on our first 5-round fight, here we go. We have Felipe Lins, 18-5 record. He's 40 years old. He was 4-2 in the UFC, but they never re-signed him. And he hasn't fought in 2 years, so who does he get? I mean, maybe something to build him up, you know, something, an easy win. Francis Ngannou. Former UFC heavyweight champ, 18-3 record, 17 finishes. He has the world record for the hardest punch in history. 96 horsepower. That's how hard he can hit. He is one of the scariest men to fight in the octagon. He also went into boxing after his little fallout with the UFC because they had drama. Went over to boxing, fought his debut against Tyson Fury, and arguably won. He lost by split decision, but he went against one of the GOATs and basically beat him. He's from Cameroon. This man, if he touches your jaw, you're never talking again. Speaking of talking, meet Mike Perry, aka Platinum. 14-8 record, 11 KOs. He is 7-8 in the UFC, and then he went to bare knuckle boxing, and he started to really pull some wins together. And then he fought in this huge Jake Paul card, and they both had a huge fucking watch for that. But then he got KO'd in round 6, but he was undersized in that one. He's still 34 years old, so maybe he can go out with some good boxing here. Who do they give him? Yeah, y'all know who the fuck it is. Nate motherfucking Diaz, baby. Nate Diaz, 21-3 record, 17 finishes, a UFC legend. Who cares if he's 41 years old, man? This guy can put you on the ground with some BJJ and it's raps. One of the biggest shit talkers in MMA history. This man had a rivalry with Conor McGregor. Him and his brother were both in the UFC, both from Stockton. So they know you're going to get hit with that Stockton slap, baby. They are a big part of why the UFC is what it is today. The Diaz brothers are truly a big part of it. This man does not give a fuck. He'll walk you down, flip you off. He showboats like crazy. He has no respect for you. This is a real gangster, brother. No respect. And he loves to roll up. And in your main event, Gina Carano, 7-1, nickname Conviction. 44 years old, she is going to be fighting here. She is a movie star. She has been in many movies like Fast and Furious and even in The Mandalorian. But she hasn't fought since 2009. That was 17 years ago. She is what many people consider the woman to have paved the way for women's MMA. She was in Strikeforce. I mean, she had some good striking, some decent ground game, but she's really why women's MMA is kind of started. And she fights Ronda Rousey, the fight that has been in the making for quite some time. She is the one that took women's MMA and just really exploded it. 12-2 record. All of her fights are finishes. She had 8 arm bars in a row. All of them in the first round. Obviously, once it gets to the ground, then it's wraps. She's a judo Olympic medalist for America, 6-2 in the UFC, but then she lost to Holly Holm and also Amanda Nunes, which is, I mean, a fair loss. She hasn't fought in 10 years. She's a UFC champ 6 times. I mean, she's 39 years old. This is an auntie fight. We got unk fights and auntie fights on this card. So look, if you made it this far, comment your favorite fucking Disney movie. I don't give a shit. And on top of that, look, a lot of these fighters I'm not too sure on. It's going to be a weird card, but it's on Netflix. It's their debut. So a lot of people are going to watch it, and it's going to be in the Inuit Dome, so it's going to be a huge spectacle. So we'll see what happens. Shit talking, all that. We'll find out.